Hey everybody, welcome to week 6 of our Smart Start virtual training series. So it's actually Wednesday. I did do this live via Zoom on Tuesday, yesterday, but it didn't turn out very well and I actually forgot to press record. But I was having a lot of issues with my computer, so that's probably why. So I figured I would just record it by myself via YouTube, and that way, plus it's just easier to share it that way as well. So thank you for watching this. Today, like I mentioned, it's week 6. So today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, and I was so glad that I got to be the one that shares this. It's the prospecting with a purpose slash the 30 and 30 challenge. People refer to it in 2 different ways, and I will upload the documents that go with this, but essentially it looks like this. It's called Prospecting with Purpose, and we'll kind of go through it. But before I really jump in, again, it's kind of part of, sorry, I'm getting some stuff on my phone. It is the 30 and 30 challenge. And the reason why that's so exciting to me is because when I first really decided to really grow my business, I had been in business for almost a year, was pretty comfortable with my little building block and doing my thing. And I was district manager already for months. But I was realizing that I really needed to kind of take it to the next level. So, at that same time, and I was kind of like, okay, now what do we do? Well, it just so happened around that same time, a year ago, the 30 and 30 challenge came out, and I did it, and my business exploded from there. And I'm actually doing it again as we're talking through this, and I'll tell you why, because it works really quickly. And right now, it's the 26th, I guess, today, at this point. So, we only have about 5 days left of the month. Yeah, double check that. But that's still, in an Arbonne world, so much can happen in 5 days. You can add up a couple of new consultants. You can sell, 5 to 6 to 7 ASVPs, especially because the other cool thing we have right now going on is the Drop a Pumpkin Challenge. So, plus, we have the holiday line. There's all kinds of really exciting reasons to be reaching out to people. And what the 30 and 30 does is it just takes all the guesswork out of it. And it's just a really easy way to just jump into something, focus on one particular thing. I'm going to shut this because it's really bright and it's glaring on my glasses. Oh my gosh, there we go. Okay, that's a little better. So again, it's just a really great way to kind of catapult you as you're starting to build your business. And I know that if you're watching this, you're probably looking to grow and build your business. So what is the 30 and 30 challenge? So we talked a couple of weeks ago about your 100-person list. So we all have our 100-person list. The idea is we're now going to reach out to all of those 100 people in the next 24 hours, and we're going to schedule appointments, and I'll explain a little bit more, but we're going to schedule appointments to get in front of 30 of those people over the course of 30 days. Now, I say 30 people in 30 days because that's kind of the gist of this plan. It might not always work out that way, right? So maybe you schedule a couple of demos out of these prospects. That's okay too, right? Because if you book a demo, that's going to be anywhere from 4 to 6 to 7, 8 people. So that's easy. But we do want to be making sure that we're connecting with at least 30 new people every month, which we need to be doing anyway. This is just a really simple way to kind of just boost you, get you right in it. The reason being because it's just some sample scripts that you're going to literally copy and paste via text. And I do know that last week Andrea trained on booking your calendar, which again, that's the most important thing of our business. You cannot grow your business without a full calendar. You just can't. You're not going to be able to do it yourself. You're not going to be able to just rely on 1 or 2 huge parties a month, because I'm here to tell you I've been doing this for almost 2 years, and it's not a way to sustain a growing business. The reason you need to be in front of 30 to 40 people a month is because you're finding business builders. That's our number one reason to be talking to anybody. It's our number one reason to have a demo, number one reason to be reaching out to people via social networks or our own personal network, whatever it is. And the only way that we can be finding 2 or 3 new business builders a month is if we're getting in front of 30 to 40 people. It's just a numbers game. That's it. So again, this just kind of takes all the guesswork out of that. Now, going back to Andrew's training the other day about booking your calendar. She did talk about the most effective way to reach out to people is over the phone. And I wholeheartedly agree. And I do 95% of my reach outs are via phone. If I have their phone number, I would much rather call them than send a text or a Facebook message. But with this particular plan, this might be you're reaching out to people that are on your list that you might not have their phone number. Maybe you are only connected with them via Facebook or Instagram. So this is going to be helpful for that. But then it's also, again, the point is to reach out to all these 100 people in the next 24 hours. And you don't have a whole lot of time to be calling and leaving voicemails or even chatting with those people. I mean, that would be ideal if you had time to get on a phone or on the phone and have a phone conversation with 100 people in the next 24 hours. But I mean, there's only so many minutes and hours of the day. So we're just going to copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. Send all of that out. So think about that, right? So if you, and I'm kind of a numbers geek, you guys know that. I like to crunch numbers. So if you send out 100 texts, and let's just say half of them respond to you one way, shape, or form, either yes or no, which is about accurate. So that's 50 people you're now hearing back from that now you're going to be moving forward. Some of them they're honestly going to say, I'm just never going to be interested. It's just not my bag. We know how we can overcome that. So we'll leave it there. Some of them are going to say, probably 5% of them are going to say, I'm either already an Arbonne rep, right? We hear that quite a bit. Or I already have a girl, it's my sister's cousin or my boyfriend's daughter or whatever it is. And, we don't want to step on toes. So we just let that go. But, most of those 50, I would say 30 to 35 of them are going to reach out in a positive way. And they're going to say, yes, I'm happy to meet with you. Let's get together. So that's now your 30, right? That's your 30 one-on-ones or phone conversations or, there's just so many ways to connect with people now, right? I mean, you can do Facebook live video chats, whatever it is, Snapchats, however you're going to be reaching out to people. So, that's your 30. And then of those 30, you know that a handful of them are going to become hostesses. And we'll talk about how you go through that process. And then, maybe you get, 1 to 5% of those 100 turn into consultants. Well, that's 1 to 5 new consultants. That's all you need, right? We've talked about that with the brick builders and all the conversations we're having. If you can find 2 to 3 new people a month, you're going to grow your business. If you can do that consistently every month, that's how you build your business consistently. Small increment pieces. Don't worry about the big, huge goals, right? I mean, maybe you want to be an MVP in 2 years and you're thinking like, how am I going to go from 2,500 to 160,000 a month in the next 2 years? Don't worry about that. Just worry about your little daily kind of consistent goals and trust me that you will get there. It's just consistency, right? So now we're all probably sitting there thinking we've got some work to do for this month. We've got some, we're running out of time to hit those goals and to close those gaps. So this is why the 30 and 30 is so incredibly exciting and important. So again, you can search it on the source, but I'm going to upload it for you. This is the document, Prospecting with Purpose, Take the 30 and 30 Challenge. I know that's backwards. So again, here's how it works. You're going to start with your 100-person list. Now, of that list, you've probably broken people out either on the list itself or maybe in your head. You know that you want them to be independent consultants. So maybe they're on your dream team. You're looking at them to become preferred clients, regular clients, hosts, or referrals, right? So you probably have your list broken out in some way, shape, or form into those 5 categories. And then now you are going to fill in the prospects that make sense for those categories. Then the next step is now we're going to ask for the appointment. So again, this is a text or email blast. And I'm going to read the scripts to you. Do not change the scripts. Do not deviate the scripts. Do not recreate the wheel. You don't have to. That's the beautiful thing about Arbonne. That's why this business is so incredibly simple. You don't have to think about how to do it. They've already written it out for you. And I can tell you from personal experience, because I did this last year, it absolutely works. And then the other thing that it does is it doesn't allow you to start second guessing, right? If you've read the 5-second rule or you were there at GTC when Mel Robbins was talking, you know how quickly within 5 seconds your mind can start to think, oh, I don't know, she's not going to be interested. She already has really great skincare. She's already super fit. There's no way she's going to be interested in our nutrition products, whatever that head trash that you're thinking of. When you're just literally copying and pasting, it's this fast, right? You're looking for the contact, you're pasting the script, and you're sending. It's literally this fast. So when you're doing that, it doesn't leave any time for the head trash to start to make its way in. So here are what the scripts are going to sound like. And there's a couple of different options that you can use based on the prospect in particular that you're reaching out to. So if you are right now currently an existing consultant, and most people in your network know that. So you would say, hi, Mary, it's Shannon. I'm reaching out because I've activated my 30 and 30 challenge with my Arbonne team. I want to connect with 30 people over the next 30 days to share a quick 20-minute overview of Arbonne. And that's important. I'll explain that in a minute. I'm excited to spread the word and would love to buy you a cup of coffee if you can help me out. Also key. I know you're busy, so I'm happy to come to you. I'll even bring you a little gift as a thank you. Would you be willing to be one of my 30s? And again, here it says, note, your gift should be something really small. When I was doing it, I would just use, like if I had extra little lipsticks or things left over, I would maybe take that. But really, what I'm going to be doing this year to make it even simpler, is I just use a detox tea, a fizz sticks, and a shake. I mean, it's as easy as that. If it's somebody, I mean, you'll know how much you should really invest in them. And I hate to say it that way. Sorry, my phone's looking at all these update things. But I would not use a whole skincare set or things like that, because it's just, those are expensive, and the gift should be something really small. Okay, so if you're a new consultant, you would say something like, hi, Mary, it's Shannon. I'm reaching out because I've just started a business with Arbonne. My assistant's here. It's a beauty, skincare, and wellness company. I'm really excited and nervous, but I'm really excited and nervous, but so excited to share this company. And as part of my training, I need to find 30 people who are willing to hear a 20-minute overview of Arbonne. I would love to buy you a cup of coffee if you'd be willing to be one of my 30. I know you're busy, so I'll come to you. I'll even bring you a little gift as a thank you. Are you in? So, that's important, because when you're starting a business, people want to support that. And so you're going to get a lot of positive response, because people just are kind, and you are actually doing them a favor. I mean, who isn't interested in skincare, nutrition, or whatever, especially if it's 20 minutes and you're going to be buying them a coffee or tea or whatever it is. So that's kind of exciting too. Now, some of you might be reaching out to people that are long distance. For instance, I'm working with a gal that's in Vermont. So here's what that might look like. Hi, Mary, it's Shannon. I'm reaching out because I've activated my 30 and 30 challenge with my Arbonne team. If you're new, you would just, switch those first couple sentences around. I want to connect with 30 people in the next 30 days to share a quick 20-minute overview of Arbonne. Would you be willing to be one of my 30? And then then you figure out virtually how you can talk to them over the phone, again, Facebook Live message, whatever that might be. So here's the key. When people respond to you, and they will start responding to you very quickly, like within the first couple of hours. And I would say what I did when I'd done this before is I took, I think, like 2 4-hour blocks of time and just sent out a ton of texts. Just copy, paste, copy. You can do it while you're watching TV. You can do it if your kid plays sports and you have practice tonight, you can do it then. You can be doing it, you can do it all night long. People don't care. But, if you don't have a 5-hour block, maybe you just do like 30-minute block here, 30-minute block here. You'd be surprised how many texts you can send in 30 minutes. It really, again, does not take very long. Or maybe I did 2 2-hour blocks. Whatever it was. I did it over like literally 24 hours from like noon to noon or something like that. And by that second day that I was doing it, I was already getting positive responses and already booking one-on-one. So I think the first round that I did, that first 10 days after I sent out all the text, I think I did 19 one-on-ones or something. I double booked things. I did one day, I was at a coffee shop for hours and I did 3 one-on-ones back to back and just did, at 9 o'clock, at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and then I did a lunch at somewhere else. So I did 4 one-on-ones back to back to back to back. Now I have a schedule that allows me to do that. So, but some of these might be over the phone, whatever that might be. And that kind of depends on you. But when you start to get the responses back, right away, immediately respond with, thank you. And again, don't deviate from this. Respond immediately with, thank you so much. Would tomorrow at 2 or Friday at 3 work for you? Always give them 2 options and assume they're going to pick one of those things. Do not leave it open to them. And Andrea mentioned this too when she was talking about booking your calendar. Don't leave it up to them. Let me check my schedule and get back to me. For one, you're a professional and this is your business. So I don't care if you're doing this as a hobby or what, but when you're approaching people about meeting with you, you need to be the professional. This is your business. This is your company. This is your brand. This is what you do. And professional people are assertive, right? And some people think assertive is a negative word. I don't. But, they expect you to kind of assert what you want from people. People know what you're doing. It's not a surprise. They know that you're going to talk to them about Arbonne. You've just said that. So just say, I've got this time and this time. Which one works for you? Obviously, if it's a big thing, they'll come back and they'll say, I just can't make any of those days work, but what about next Wednesday? And that's fine, right? I mean, we always work in a 90-day cycle. So if it has to stretch out a couple of weeks, that's fine. But with this particular kind of challenge, again, you want to get in front of 30 people in 30 days. So by next month on the 26th, you want to be meeting with 30 people. So with this particular challenge, you want to tighten it up to about 10 to 14 days at the absolute latest. Because then this is really going to set you up for the rest of the month of October and then into the rest of the fall quarter. And again, I just mentioned offering 2 times. Okay, so we've set the schedule. I need to get my fizzy. At nearly 6 o'clock at night, which should be interesting later, but I'm just exhausted lately. Okay, so you schedule the meeting. First of all, please be early. Again, we're professionals. The other reason is you want to be, and I would say this for any meeting, you want to be able to get yourself centered and collect your thoughts before someone shows up, right? Because you know how that is when you're not kind of centered. They show up and everything's kind of flustered for a little bit. You've only got 20 minutes. So they're going to show up and they're going to want to be like, hi, how's it going? Catch up, blah, blah, blah. Here's what you say. I would love to catch up with you, but I promised you 20 minutes. So can we just... let me share the Arbonne information with you. And then if you have time to stay later, awesome. But because I said 20 minutes. So I just want to be respectful of your time, right? Put it back on them that you're doing them, you're looking out for their best interests. So, again, that's why we want to be ready to go. When they sit down, we're kind of ready to rock and roll. The other reason you don't want to be late is because you've offered to buy them coffee, and it's awkward if they've been waiting for 5-10 minutes. They probably already ordered something, and now you come in and now it'd be awkward to go back up to the counter and order something. So just be there early. Have your information laid out, have the gift out, whatever you're going to do, get yourself situated. There are a couple of different ways to do that, which we can talk about later and offline. But essentially the second piece of the document, that I will post, it is Is Arbonne Right For You document. I think it's also called the Biz Op Sheet. Yes. Biz Op Sheet is the way that it's listed on the source. But I love it because it's just one page back and, front and back. Really simple. This is the actual page in the plastic that I used last year and use it all the time. If you know me, if you've been on demos with me, I always have this with me. And it's just, because for me, it's just an easy flow of information. And as you're providing this information to them, they're going to be responding and giving you hints as to how you're going to be able to help them out. Now, I will say, before you really dive into this information, you want to ask a couple of things. And I actually have a form that I use for the one-on-one form, which I can send to you guys as well. That just kind of goes through kind of the pieces. So, you thank your guests for coming, give them a gift, purchase the coffee, get settled, whatever, get comfortable. Then you say, before I start talking about Arbonne, is it okay if I ask you a few questions? They'll say, of course. You say, can you give me a 2-minute overview of your life currently? So this is when they're going to talk about husbands, kids, job, whatever their life currently looks like, right? Then you'll ask, oh, that's awesome. Great. Okay, I have kids too. And blah, blah. But again, this is 20 minutes, so keep it short. You want to be listening to them more than you're talking, right? Be interested, not interesting is what we always say. And I feel like there it goes. It got fuzzy for a minute. The next thing you're going to ask, where do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years? And this is important because nobody ever thinks about this question. And no one's going to have, maybe some. There's probably a couple people I've asked this question to that have it dialed in. They know where they're going. But most people who don't, they're just working or raising a family or whatever they're doing. They're not really thinking long-term plans. They're just how do I get this week or this day or whatever it might be. So it causes people to think. And if they don't have an answer, you just say, that's okay. But if you had a magic wand, where would you like to be in 3 to 5 years? What would you like to be doing? What kind of car are you driving? Where do you live? What are you, have you gone on vacations this year? Whatever that might look like. What does your dream life look like? If time and money were of no object, what would you want to be doing in the next 3 to 5 years? And then you just ask, is what you're doing now helping you to get there? And then what would your dream life look like? You kind of work those things in. So now they're really thinking, right? And even if they've not given you a whole lot of information at this point, they're thinking. And that's where we want them. So then you're going to take 1 to 2 minutes and just share your quick story. So, why you joined the business, how you got into the business, who asked you, why you decided to jump in, what your goals are, where you're going. So important. Where are you going and when? So I always tell people I'm working for regional vice president. I'm going to be in a Mercedes by the end of the year. I'm going to be in a Mercedes by October, whatever it is. And trust me, guys, my goals have moved so many times, and it's okay. Nobody cares. Nobody knows. Nobody remembers what you've said. But have conviction when you're saying that, because people want to follow someone that they know is passionate about what they're doing and is going to help them, right? Okay, so now you've talked to them a little bit about you and your story, and then now you're going to share this document. Okay, so now you're going to say, I just want to share with you a little bit of information about Arbonne, and then just kind of see what you think, right? So you're just going to kind of go through, and I kind of blow through this really quickly, and then I wait for them to be responding, because with their responses, that's helping me formulate how I'm going to go back to them and show them how Arbonne will help them to get to their 3 to 5 year goal. Or if they're saying something, like if you're talking about how we're international, they might say, oh, I've got a friend in the UK. That'd be great. Boom. Or if you're talking about, our ingredient policies, they might say, well, I've been vegan for a year. That's great. That actually happened to one of my consultants, Sherry. That was one of the things that she mentioned right away. When you start talking about the range of products that we have, that's great, because people might think when they've met with you, oh, I thought you were just skincare. Wow, I didn't even know about the nutrition or the shampoo, conditioner, whatever it might be. And you want those positive responses, because again, that's helping you build the story without them even knowing that that's what you're doing. You really want to talk about what social networking means and why that's important, and why, residual income is such an incredible wealth builder. Who endorses network marketing? Warren Buffett, Paul Zane Pilzer. I mean, these are big names that support network marketing, right? And it just gives our industry credibility. Why Arbonne? Again, consumable products, timing and trends, yada, yada, yada. Here's where we're going to spend a significant amount of time. So if this is 20 minutes, up to getting to this document, we're probably 5 to 8 minutes in. So far in the document, you're maybe 5 to 8 minutes in. So we're already almost getting there. You want to make sure that you've got at least 3 to 4 minutes to talk about the compensation. And again, you just do, right? Because again, you're looking ideally at having somebody.
It just makes sense.
Well, yes, because ideally you're looking for a business builder, and if someone's going to join a business, they want to know that they can make some cash. And that's not to say that everyone's going to see this big national vice president number and want to get there right away. They might be seeing this $250 to $1,000 a month at district manager, and they might be totally fine with that, because maybe they just need an extra little $500, $800 a month to just kind of get through the month guilt-free, or be able to shop without having their husband, asking their husband for money, or
guilt-free.
Being able to save for a vacation they've been really wanting to take their kids on, whatever that might be.
And if you didn't know already, I don't know what's happening, but if you're at, Mom, can you flip it around so they can see? When you're at regional vice president, I don't know if my mom already told you that, but you get a Mercedes. Do you see that little sign? Mercedes-Benz, anyone you want.
Kevin just got new braces.
Yeah, so I'm lisping a lot.
Okay.
So yeah, I just want to talk about that.
Okay. So now we're probably at about 18 minutes, right? If we've calculated that correctly. So now, and this is the most important part. Well, that's just my training. Well, my training so far is 23 minutes. So that makes sense. So we're probably maybe 15 minutes into this process at this point.
Oh, true.
So now is key. Now you're going to ask them, I've shared a lot. You've shared with me a lot. I can see how this business is going to work for you because XYZ, because they've mentioned some things as you've gone through this or on your one-on-one form. And how Arbonne is going to help solve something that they're dealing with. And then you're just going to ask, based on everything that you've heard, I want to get a good understanding of how we can move forward. So are you a 1, 2, or a 3? And I'll explain what each of those numbers mean. A 1 is, okay, you're not ready for the business opportunity yet, but let's get some friends together. Boom, you're booking a demo. Because maybe they like some products. They're not really interested in the business at all, but you can just share with them, well, I see that you like the products, so the best way to get a significant amount of product at a significant discount is to become a hostess, and explain that further. Number 2, it sounds like you need some more information about the business. Great. Let's grab some of your friends, and I can show you how fun this business really is. Done. Booked a demo. Or they're number 3, right? Awesome. You're ready to go. I'm so excited for you. Do you have another 15 minutes or so? And I can show you a little bit more now. If not, let's schedule some time to get together tomorrow. Make sure if they're interested in the business, you have your next scheduled appointment with them within 24 hours. And there's a lot of psychological reasons why, but basically you want to get them while they're hot, right? I mean, that's just buying 101. If they're ready now, right? Like if they're like, yep, I got 15 minutes. Let's do this now. I'm ready to rock and roll, which is essentially how I was. Then you say, okay, awesome. I actually have some homework for you. And then again, you're going to want this homework back in 24 hours. Name 5 to 6 friends that you'd like to work with, travel with, train with, or have fun with, or all of those things combined. Then let's get them together in the next couple of days, if not 24 hours, 48 at the latest, and let them know what you're doing over coffee. So let's try to get all of them together at once with you over coffee at my house, video chat, whatever it might be. That way we can kind of be reaching out to all of these people at one time. Let's schedule your first launch party in the next 3 to 5 days. Now, you guys, this is so incredibly important. You want to get those launches done while they're hot, while they're excited. And don't let people freak out that, oh, you know, I'm busy, I don't know. It's like, just do it. I mean, a launch party is only about an hour and a half. You can do it. I've got all the stuff. We're just going to get you going right away. Even if it's the end of the month, that's the best time to start a business because you're going to get into district manager qualification, maybe even sometimes area qualification, and then you have all of next month to finish those up. And then now in the first, 5 to 6 weeks, you've already gotten 1 to maybe 2 promotions already. So that's awesome. So at the end of the day, though, no matter what they've answered, 1, 2, or 3, you now have a demo booked or an activity booked out of this one-on-one. So think about that. Think of the numbers. We talked about the numbers game in the beginning. If you're in front of 30 people in 30 days, for one, a couple of them are going to become consultants just from the one-on-ones, which is awesome. Otherwise, they're going to be booking 30, either way, you're booking 30 demos over the next couple of weeks to 30 days. So that's how this whole thing starts to build the momentum. The wheels start to turn, things start to move forward, and you just kind of build from there. Now, always, 30 and 30 challenge aside, never leave an appointment without a next appointment booked or an order, right? Which is essentially another appointment. But any one-on-one, you want to be booking a demo out of it or getting an order for preferably an ASVP or signing them up as a new consultant. But you never want to be leaving one thing without adding another one, right? So like if you're leaving a demo, you want to have another demo and a couple of one-on-ones booked, ideally. Because again, that's how the momentum builds. You don't want to be restarting every month at the beginning of the month, rebuilding your momentum. It's kind of like, when a car is moving and you don't have to give it a whole lot of gas because it's coasting and it's moving. Well, if you have to start and stop, and so, blah, 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 it just is so much energy and you burn so much more gas. It's so annoying. No one likes to sit and stop and go traffic. Why? Because it's annoying. It's the same thing about when you lose momentum in your business every month. No one wants to, it's not fun. And this business is meant to be fun and it's meant to be enjoyed. It's meant for you to be happy and excited to do it. So I hope that helps. I know I ran through that pretty quickly, but I always like to keep these under 30 minutes. I will be posting these forms onto the Facebook groups. The other thing that we've kind of added into this 30 and 30 challenge is kind of when you're leaving, or maybe even in the beginning, when people are meeting with you, you ask, what are 2 of the reasons why you'd consider Arbonne? So now if you've gone through all of these things, so I've asked you the 1, 2, or 3, and so these are people that are more leaning toward the 3. They're looking to start. You want to ask them right away, give me 2 reasons why you'd consider it, and wait for their answer. And don't really, just kind of wait, because you're waiting for objections. Because once we get an objection, we can quickly overcome those. And then ask them, what are your 2 hesitations in starting your business? Let them tell you. And then as we're kind of talking through with them how they're going to overcome those things, once they're going to start to realize if their reasons and their whys are bigger than their hesitations, if their reasons for starting their business, their whys for building this business are bigger than their hesitations, they're ready to launch with you right now. And then you just say, welcome to Arbonne. We've done it. We've overcome the challenges. Let's get you going. Let's get you making money. Let's get you having fun with your friends again. Let's get you building wealth and residual income and all those kinds of things. So again, I hope you guys have enjoyed this training. I hope you continue to enjoy the trainings that we do. If you have any questions for me, please let me know. Obviously, reach out to your sponsor and your upline to answer questions as well. I will be posting the documents on here, but let's get it done, you guys. I'm doing it too. I already started sending a couple of last night. I'm going to send a bunch more tonight and then the rest of them tomorrow. and just start to build momentum and get it going. We've got goals to hit, right? So let's not give up. Magic happens in these last couple days of the month. And just keep going on the prize, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye, guys.